Welcome back, one and all, to Game 4 of the 2021 League of Legends Collegiate Championship Series, where Maryville University fight back. The Kings will not go down in 3-0 fashion. They want to give us a series, and they're looking down the barrel of a very difficult-to-defeat Winthrop University, but they did have their number in that last game, Raz. We've seen 3 wins on blue side right now, and a lot of priority on Udyr. I'm happy that the analyst desk was talking about that, because I think that that's very much going to shape the rest of the series.
It's definitely the easy way to think about it. I think a lot of junglers around the world have been punished with going Rumble into Udyr. Rumble may be a great team fighter, but certainly Udyr is going to be a better scrapper, and he just did not let Frost Forest farm. So great start on that game to Odd Orange, and now Maryville has the answer. They're going to be on red side this time around. I want to see what the response is.
Again, we've seen all 3 games, whoever's on blue side has won, and they've all picked that Udyr right off the bat. So, Maryville, the question is, do they ban it? Winthrop are keeping the same bans, right? Senna, Gangplank, Lee Sin, they're not adapting their strategy at all. Maryville, they banned the Thresh and the Gwen, and there we do see the Udyr ban.
And now, if you're Winthrop, Varus is probably going to be the next one, because Morgana and Rumble are going to be probably interchangeable. Let's see, Nocturne. Interesting. Really
interesting. That's been banned. Maryville's been banning that every single time.
Nocturne is a great flex and also really good into some of these AP junglers. So instant lock-in from Maryville to go into this. But Nocturne, I wonder where it's going to go.
I've always felt Nocturne is a compositional champion, right? Like, it's great to pick up, you know, maybe red 4, blue 5, somewhere around there. Once you already see what the compositions are going to look like. But first, picking the Nocturne, yeah, it's flexible, but scary to lock in right away. Maryville are answering with the Rumble of their own. They say no Udyr this time around, so we want that Rumble and the Kaisa.
I think it's interesting. I know Nocturne gets a bad rep in some of the games that loses because it's very much an all-in type, but it's not the same Nocturne that people remember of the old. It's a stride breaker, bruiser Nocturne. He stays in the fight much longer, and so he's going to get a chain off for a Kaisa if he has a Kaisa on his team, but he's going to have a Jinx on his team this time around. Saskia picking up the Jinx has been picked up for him multiple times. I think Jinx and Trist have been picked up back to back in his previous series, so this time he's going to go right back to that Jinx.
But they're not opting for the Nautilus this time. It's not the Nautilus angle, I guess. The Leona paired with the Jinx instead. Maryville do have that Nautilus on the table if they want that side of the matchup. I feel like Winthrop may be realizing they haven't been feeling as confident with the Nautilus into Leona, but we will see both locked in.
Yeah, and let's see what we get here. What Leona's great at is forcing out flashes, and if he gets a flash out of a target, that long-range ultimate is going to be great setup. In this case, setting up Nocturne ulti, setting up the Jinx rocket. All these things are pretty nice long-range answers. Let's see what 4-5 looks like for Winthrop Eagles.
They're taking away the Aatrox. They do not want Hybrids to get that again. If you're just joining us, Hybrids had maybe the performance of his career in that game number 2.
Yeah.
That was absolutely insane, but unfortunately will not get to run that one back. But to me, this says that Maryville probably going to lock in their top laner and then get that counter pick for Spyrex, right? I mean, presumably, you'd have to assume. But Winthrop also giving respect to Spyrex's Yone with another ban.
I wonder what it's going to be like in 4-5. The Scion has been the answer here from Hybrids. He does have a Nocturne. Maybe he commits to it. These are all these questions that I have involved because the Gnar was a great pick from Chippies. And I think he should just go straight back to it. Some of these plays have been kind of unfortunate, but those big plays that he's had on the Mega Gnar ultis in team fights have been memorable. So they're holding on to that. It's going to be an Akali picked out, but that goes to show, I think, Akali, very flexible. You can pick that with Chippies as well, so it's a nice, that means that the door is wide open for Maryville.
I also just want to call out, this is not a Jinx with a Thresh or a Tahm Kench or even a Lulu. Nothing that can keep her alive other than just peeling, right? So you get the Akali and the Kaisa that can both just jump on top of Saskia. You're going to have to be very careful about your positioning as the AD carry now.
That's very true. Actually, I completely forgot about that. That's what makes Thresh such a strong champion and why it's been like permanently banned internationally, and of course like has been a hot button topic here, is that it just makes these champions really safe. And in this case, the game's going well, Saskia is thriving. Oh!
What?
A Karthus pickup.
Is this gonna be the Doxa Nocturne?
I think it is. I think
wow.
it is.
So that would be presumably Nocturne into the Akali, depending on where Maryville want to put that one. They log in the sets, still flexible. We've seen sets in the mid lane against certain matchups, and Nocturne might be one that they want to. Otherwise, yeah, no, they don't put Karthus in a solo lane, right? This is Karthus in the jungle on match point for Winthrop in the championship grand finals. What a draft here from the Winthrop Eagles, throwing the rulebook out the window.
And it is just a straight focus to the bot lane. Evan RL and Shady have had a great series so far. They need to hunker down because they're going to get attacked. It seems like Winthrop had a few more tricks up their sleeves, and they're throwing it to us in the finals.
Man, I love Collegiate League of Legends, Raz. We get these really fun team compositions. Nocturne ulting in, Jinx ulting in, Karthus ulting. Suddenly the backline's blowing up. If anyone's got out of position, they are just dead from the side of Maryville. But Maryville still have a pretty strong team fighting composition and champions that can just delete the Jinx. Feels like a rock, paper, scissors match happening against each other in the game itself. We'll have to see who's able to come out on top here as we are loaded onto Summoner's Rift for the 4th time today. Winthrop University hoping to clench it right here. Maryville University keeping the dream alive. Give them your energy, everybody. Give them everything you got in Twitch chat. It could all come down to this.
Taking a look at this. We mentioned the Akali being able to dive into the back line. Didn't get to mention Chippy's on set here. Now, Set in this matchup does a good job being able to trade in and also get prio. Of course, it's not bad for Sion. Sion can play this lane out pretty easily, but my concern is more so team fights. Chippy's now has an ulti option, could send the Sion straight into the back line. And Saskio really doesn't have that protection we were just talking about. So we have multiple dive threats here from Maryville. So if you're Winthrop, you can't fall behind. I really don't think it's possible to fall behind. If you do, then Doxa on his Nocturne and Jinx on, it would just really kind of suffer.
They have essentially 3 scaling champions here, right? With the Karthus, the Jinx, the Sion. Again, I mean, I'm not even surprised at this point. The level 1 trades, although this might just be a level 1 all-in. Shady has to flash away. Saskio doing a lot of damage with those rockets. You need to respect the Jinx early game damage. It's more than you think.
Yeah, and Kaisa Plasma didn't proc out there, so it's just a net win for Saskio and Sir Kenji. Both summoners coming out, but a summoner's advantage for them too, since Shady did have to flash, so it's going to be an easy level 2 advantage. Good stuff coming in from Saskio and Sir Kenji.
And again, they hit that ward, right? So they can actually do this thing where they take down 2 melee minions, 1 ranged, and then look for the engage, which makes it a little bit faster than Evan RL and Shady can get it. And yeah, they're just giving respect, backing off very far back, giving up contest over that wave. But here's the mid lane matchup. We didn't talk too much about what the lane looks like in the laning phase here. It's an assassin versus, like, basically assassin versus assassin, right? I mean, you can kind of consider Nocturne that, but he really needs that level 6, whereas presumably the Akali can put some pressure on him early.
It's just a very non-interactive lane. I think the Nocturne will win out early in most of these situations because he has the lethal tempo. That being said, before I could even get into that.
Yeah, Orange looking for an early gank on the bottom side. Sir Kenji still has flash, Saskio still has flash, and there's no more CC options available. Sir Kenji's trying to use Orange to get away, but Orange flashes to follow. Oh, from long range! Evan RL getting another kill. Now Saskio gets hooked yet again. He's got a flash too. All summoner spells used from Winthrop bot lane. First blood over to MU.
What a great call from Orange, going straight towards the bot lane, but another gank opportunity
it's
now.
Not over. Doxa's here, but Chippies roams down for the top lane. Gets over the wall, takes down Doxa.
What an active early game that now throws Maryville so insanely into the lead. Summoners being blown from Saskio, but Frost Forest actually, oh no.
He doesn't stop the back. He doesn't see Evan RL. He's going to go for an invade. He is 1 level up over Orange because Orange went for that early gank, whereas Frost Forest has just been power farming. But can he get prio on the mid lane? Doc's taking a lot of damage. Sir Kenji has roamed up, so should be a blue buff steal.
Something that the observers didn't catch there was that Evan RL had to actually flash, so he didn't finish his bait. The Leona walked into the river and I think caught him. So If he didn't flash there, then the Karthus walks back, gets the kill, so he needed to flash out there. Here is the play. So, pretty easy hook there. Rumble skipped his bot camps, was going top side, and then found this angle bot lane as the wave is going in. It's really smart. And also, just the perfect DPS from the Kai'Sa to get the kill. 400 gold in his pockets.
And then that hook at the end there, just the cherry on top. He gets Saskio's flash. Yeah. He doesn't die, but in a really rough position now.
And so, yeah, great roam from Chippies here. It's one of those moments where you just don't call it out. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case where wave gets pushed in, no vision from the top to the mid lane, but you just don't expect the set to be making the rounds there. So, nice play from Chippies to get an advantage here now for Spyrax.
And that was Doxa thinking that he could take a 1v1 against Spyrax, getting real aggressive like. Now backing, wave's gonna slow push back towards him, so feeling good. The big thing is, Raz, you already said it, if Winthrop get put behind with this composition, it becomes very difficult to come back online. They're already down 1,000 gold at 5 minutes because of those kills going over, so how do they slow this one down?
Let's see. You know, Winthrop has done a good job in this series when they are behind to just find plays and not just rush things. So I'm expecting that a little bit. I'm expecting them to just be patient, right? In this case, Hybrids is not really going to be doing anything. He's not going to be trying anything on towards Chippies. And this is a nice trade play going for Dragon, but oh no.
Saskio hooked yet again. His heal's about to come up. It is Sir Kenji keeping him alive, jumping on to Evan RL. Dragon's being taken by Frost Force this whole time. Evan RL also throws out the heal. Sir Kenji's taking a lot of damage, trying to frontline. I don't think that was the play. He does go down, ignite onto Shady, but he shields himself up and will get out of that one just fine. So 2v2 goes to the favor of MU, but Dragon is picked up by Winthrop.
Generally speaking, everyone should be a part of the same play. And so this is just a situation where Sir Kenji and Saskio just think that they can win the 2v2, and they're wrong. And that's fair, right? That's just the risk that they're taking. But I don't think you need to even take that risk. Don't make it awkward for Frost Force, who has no eyes on where the enemy jungler is. In a worse position, he's going to lose out and die in that situation too, if that's going to be Auto and showing his face on Dragon. So those are the type of things you don't want to see. Maryville's still an advantage, but in the end of the day, that's a Dragon there for Winthrop.
Chippy's carrying Hybrids under turret. The Bramble Vest actually gets turret aggro. All right, he walks out just fine. Had ultimate, had flash. Doesn't have to use either, so we'll just back fine. But I like to see this from Chippy. He's trying to force these plays. Oh, he's not going to let him back. That's a huge charged up Q, though. Wow. Scion base damage, everybody.
Yep, hurts. But you see, the Chippy's doing a great job this game. I mean, he has the kill from the mid lane play, so that's going to help a little bit as well. With the long sword in tow, but he has a good back. I'm pretty sure he has a decent amount of gold when he does take an opportunity to base. Oh, is it another charge up?
Here. Frost Force
is here. It another charge up?
He's coming. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of CC, and Frost Force can join in to clean it up. Chippies, Haymaker not going to be enough. Maybe he can trade on to Frost Forest. Exhaust used. Hybrids gets the kill. I think they wanted to give that over to Frost Force, but the dive on the bot side. Sir Kenji taking a lot up front. He's trying to lock down Shady, but goes way too far forward. Shady picks up another kill.
That's a rough one. A good play from Maryville, but I didn't expect Sir Kenji to E forward. Let the tower do its work on that one, but in the end, that's now going to be the 4th kill for Maryville. There's a lot of plays happening, but I thought that
important to note
play. Go on.
I was just going to say, important to note, Doxa hasn't ulted yet. He hasn't joined in on a play.
Not true. Yeah, we're just kind of making, we want to make use of the ultimate there. And that's the thing. That's why I really want Winthrop. I know they're in a disadvantage, so they're finding a difficult, it's finding it difficult to find a timer. But you do want to play through mid lane and then find a option bot. But they're being creative. And so that's what I was kind of mentioning, was that the creativity to find that play on towards Chippies was a good job. It's the first step now for Winthrop trying to find a way to come back into this game.
Let's see what Hybrids can do with that gold in his pocket. Still trying to just keep this wave in an even state. Sir Kenji's roamed up to help Doxa shove this wave out. This is what you're just saying, Raz. Push out mid. Now Doxa can get out elsewhere on the map. They have the support, jungler, mid laner, and top laner all linked up here, so maybe a Rift Herald play, but they don't fully commit to it. And with that Pixel Brush control warded, that means Maryville will know that they are not on Rift Herald.
I think this is a good decision from Winthrop that In my mind, you have your full camps in the bot lane, and you're losing like basically 1.5 minions in turret. This is not worth for Rift Herald. You must allow Saskia to farm this up. You also should just farm up your bot side camps, and then you can get Rift Herald afterwards. But I think they corrected well. I think the initial idea was poor.
We see Saskia does miss out on a couple of those, but on the same page as you, Raz. But now Maryville have all the vision control on the pathway up from bot side. Dox has got to be careful here. Shady over the wall, has to flash preemptively. Not going to mess around with that spell shield. Just says, no, if I die, we lose way too much.
Yeah, these supports, man, I love it. I love the play, and that's going to
be everywhere.
Doxa using his flash, exactly. You love to see it. Trying to find an opportunity to net your team an advantage.
Oh, no. Why do we have to watch Doxa in that moment?
It happens, guys.
It's okay. He doesn't play that much Nocturne. You know, it's difficult to know the AoE sweep and, you know, the correct damage on the minions. But I want to see Doxa ult. I want to see him go for a proactive play. We have not yet seen Winthrop utilize this Nocturne, which, in my mind, the point of the Nocturne mid is hit level 5, you go somewhere else. You highlighted bot lane, but we have not seen that happen yet. It's been still Sir Kenji getting out of bot lane to try and back up Doxa, which it's not working out for them. Spyrex is playing way too safe.
Yeah, that's mostly been because of what's happening bot lane to make Evan RL and Shady too strong. And, oh no, he's going to
Oh, Doxa doesn't have flash. Remember from that earlier play, Equalizer does come down. Frost Forest can't back him up. And because of that, I don't think that MU actually want this, even Sion using the Unstoppable Onslaught. So, good thing you got teammates there, Doxa, but I don't think that they get the Rift Herald for this, where that's what Frost Forest started.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening here, but you know, it's just making it difficult for Doxa to start a play. You also saw Sir Kenji lining up around mid lane to see if they can get a pick on a Kali, but that's just not possible as long as her Shroud is available. So, yeah, that's just the life here for Doxa.
Man, Shady's going for this play over and over again. Hex flash to that wall, yeah. Doxa just has no control over this. Dragon's up. I feel like MU will probably go for this play right now. They also have the shove on the bottom half of the map. And Winthrop seems to me like their play is just wait for their comp to start to come online. They still have scaling in the Karthus and the Jinx, so once they can hit that 1-2 Mythic, that's when they'll probably start contesting a lot of this, especially since they got that first Dragon. So they're not necessarily on a timer right now. But if you give MU too much, they will start to snowball this.
Yeah, I think they're making the right call in trading for a Rift Herald. They just don't want to do too much.
This might be the play. Super Mega Death Rocket plus the combo of Doxa and Sir Kenji. But Doxa will probably be traded here. Spyrex doesn't have the ult yet. It's still on cooldown. Teleport coming in here from Hybrids. Unstoppable Onslaught not available. It's actually canceled. So no teleport in. Shady says maybe we can actually turn this now. I got a healthy AD carry. I got a healthy mid laner. I got the engage out of Sir Kenji. And the burst down. Ignite will be enough. 3-0 on the Nautilus. Shady picking up another one.
Yeah, it's a fat support there. Oh, no, that could be a dive.
He goes for it. He goes for it. He takes these. Spyrex with a solo kill on the Doxa.
Clean, and he holds that ultimate as an escape tool. That was so beautiful. It started with Winthrop finding a play to kind of get back into the game, but it ended heavily in an advantage of Maryville. Well done from Spyrex.
Beautifully played. The substitute mid laner coming in the round of 8, semifinals and grand finals up against arguably his stiffest competition yet, getting the solo kill. Let's take another look here. This was Winthrop's play.
A lot of damage, well coordinated from the side of Winthrop, but it's the back half that I'm interested in. Because at this point, when the TP comes through and it does get canceled, I'm like, this is okay from Winthrop. I'm actually happy about this. They got Rift Herald topside, and they got the pick on towards Rumble. It's the re-engage from Shady that does it. Getting the kill on Sir Kenji. And once Doxa comes back into the lane, Spyrex finds the opportunity to get on top of him.
Beautifully done. Ults in to line up the shuriken flip. Supreme display, or rather a perfect execution there to get out. Almost got my mid lane ultimates messed up. That would have been awkward. But here we go. Potential dive onto Evan RL on the bottom side. Winthrop University want to find another play for their troubles, but they got to make this work fast because there's multiple members of MU nearby. They don't even kill Evan RL. Sir Kenji and Frost Forest are way too far forward. Maybe the Requiem will be enough. It does take down Evan RL. Out Orange and Shady are very low on health. Chippies has joined in on the fight. A lot of damage onto Saskio, but he will go down too. Saskio picking up that kill. Doxon, Spyrex. Okay, Doxon was looking for the engage. He was like, can I help out the team? Maybe not against the level 11 Akali, but still, Winthrop turning that play around and actually pulling it off.
Yeah, it was a 2 for 2. But you take that if you're Winthrop at this point of the game. And so gold's now being put on towards Saskio and Frost Force, who got that ultimate kill on towards Evan RL. So game is turning into a scrap, and it's, you know, bit by bit, I think, working out for Winthrop.
They are hanging in there, right? I mean, with the composition and the gold lead that Maryville had, this is kind of the halt to the snowball. It felt like things were going in their favor. They were just going to keep going, Maryville, Maryville, Maryville. But if you're Winthrop and you pull a play like this and make it work, this is how you come back.
Yeah, the Jinx ultimate is coming through. Evan RL dodges it, but you can't dodge a Karthus ultimate. That's just going to hit you in the head. Another note, Chippy is trying to re-engage, tried to get on top of Saskio, but is still behind another piece of range. So that's not going to be the case, and also just didn't have the damage anyways. Akali wasn't a part of that fight. So overall, bit of confusion from the side of Maryville, and Winthrop takes advantage of it.
I mean, can you fault them for being confused? They're like, wait a minute, we have a 2.5k gold lead. Why are they diving us under our own bot turret onto the semi-fed Kaisa right now? But Winthrop, that's just the team they are. You know, they will go for these plays. They'll look for it. If we remember from game 2, they were also behind, but they found that miracle play to come back. Now in game number 4, still up in the series. They just got to hold on a little longer. They have the Jinx. They have the Karthus. And the Sion, these late game scaling champions that will just become almost impossible for MU to deal with if they can hit these big item power spikes.
Yeah, and remember, like we mentioned momentum, a lot of it comes down to the fact that Maryville realized that team fighting is working for them. So moving towards that, Chippy's now going to a set, you know, towards more team fight options, is helping them out. He has 2 kills to his name here, having a pretty good game, and is close to being able to pick up his stride breaker. All these things, while Maryville has a slight lead, that's where that hopium from the Maryville fans coming in play.
They still have, okay, right as I say that, their gold lead has pretty much disappeared. Dead even.
There it goes.
2 turrets over to the side of Winthrop is the big lead right now, but they also have the inside track of this dragon. Maryville, look at this. They actually have no path in. They have no vision in. They have an Akali flank, so maybe if they can find the right fight, the right engage, Saskio can get deleted here by Spyrex, but now Spyrex is spotted out, so the jig is up. They just got to make sure that this Jinx stays alive. Jinx stays safe. Here we go. Chippy's looking for the engage. Does take down Frost Force, but again, that is the Karthus. He can stay alive, still do damage. Winthrop University kind of blowing up here, but maybe they can turn it. Saskio's still alive. He's still untouched. Odd Orange tries to take him down, but he cannot. Saskio with a double kill. Evan RL, the only member left from MU, has to retreat. That's Dragon over to Winthrop.
The damage from Karthus and Jinx is just way too damn high. That's Leandri's picked up with Karthus. I have to figure out if that's before or after, but in the end of the day, that is just the fact. Chippies goes in for an engage, and I know we'll see the full fight, and it's also Spyrax that dives through, but you know, Shady and Odd Orange are just getting obliterated in these fights, and so it's getting harder and harder as the game goes on with Winthrop's composition.
Tough when you don't have a big front line, right? Like, Chippy's, when he's in, he can't keep everybody safe, but here's that engage you're talking about.
So let's just see here, because Chippies does dive in, gets the kill on towards Karthus, but then the Karthus ultimate, man, and of course Jinx does set up the kill on towards Chippies as well.
Yep. And also, even on to Spyrex. Spyrex tried his best to get on top of Saskio, but I think he jumped in onto Flame Chompers. I'm pretty sure Saskio dropped Flame Chompers, and Spyrex ulted directly on top of them, and then Saskio just blew him up. So it's those micro little misplays in these team fights that, yeah, if Saskio's not touched, he can actually output a lot of damage here. So big momentum swing for Winthrop, not in necessarily gold, but just in confidence and in objectives. They get that dragon, now they're going to get a Rift Herald for their trouble.
Yeah, the dreaded word here is scaling. Winthrop has here with the Jinx and Karthus, and of course Sion scales quite well in a team fight. It's really difficult for Maryville You mentioned it in the really early portions of the game. I was concerned about how Saskia would be able to deal with diving threats, and he's doing quite well. And also, even if he does die, the threat that's there from Karthus has to be respected.
And if you kill Karthus first, guess what? He still does damage. So not even the best engaged choice there. But Chippies has to take what he can get. There's a lot of kite back potential here that we didn't necessarily mention because of the CC from Leona and Scion, Jinx with her Flame Chompers. And Saskia's positioning incredibly far back. It's frustrating for MU to get on top of because Odd Orange throws out that equalizer, but it's not in range of Saskia. Spyrex has to use everything to get on top of him. And beautiful positioning from WU.
Yeah.
Gets them an advantage right now of momentum swing in their favor, but how does MU keep this one in their pocket right now, Raz? It's not out of the bag yet. They have to win this one to bring us to that game 5.
For Winthrop, dragon stacking. They're already up the second dragon. Next one's going to be Sold Point, and at that point, Maryville has to always fight into them. I think Maryville would really benefit playing continually the side lanes. I think right now their lane allocation is great. Having a Kali top lane. Oh, wait a minute. Silence seems to be mirroring Doxa here. Shroud's already been used by Spyrax, so these type of things you have to worry about if he gets picked on side. But in general, these lane assignments I love. So you can find, you know, Chippies and Spyrax in a position where you can get a kill on Doxa or Hybrids early. But Rift Herald's coming out, and I think that's going to be made difficult.
They might just break this middle turret. Let's see if Winthrop actually want to commit to it. Yeah, they do. They send Saskia with all the tanks in front. Equalizer will go down. It does some damage, and it will keep the turret safe. All right. Maryville University hold their mid lane turret. They do not want to give up this mid pressure against Winthrop. And hey, I mean, holding on, that's not too bad right now. I just want to give a highlight here quick, Raz, before the next fight breaks out. Saskia's been having an incredible performance. I think that he's one of the players that kind of gets overlooked because it's like, oh, the Doxa diff meme that we love to highlight when Doxa pops off. Frostforce and Sir Kenji constantly roaming to mid lane, helping him out. Even Hybrid's having that breakout performance in game 2. But Saskia, I think silently throughout this whole series, has been looking very solid, and especially now, all the pressure on his shoulders pretty much as this Jinx to stay alive in these fights and not put that damage. And I mean, you can't ask for a better AD carry to put that pressure on.
Absolutely. I mean, even in their previous series in the round of 16 against Riverside, or in the round of 8 versus Buffalo, yeah, Saskia has consistently been a strong member. It's just one of those situations where in the meta, there's not a lot of agency in the AD carry, and they're at the beck and call of what's happening with their mid, support, and jungle. But he's always been a strong performer. So it's a well-rounded team. That's why they're at match point. It's not just on one or two members. It's the squad that's coming in hot for this for Winthrop.
Anyone calling this a fluke clearly has not been paying attention to collegiate League of Legends. Winthrop University are a legitimate threat and have been throughout the entire season, whether it's collegiate, whether it's amateur. And they're showing this by pushing MU to their limits right now. It's a dead even game, right? This one can still go either way, but when you're up in the series, Winthrop University have a little more confidence thinking, okay, we can play safe. We don't have to force anything right now. They have the inside track of this dragon. Can they keep it?
Chippy's in a damn good position, by the way, for a flank. He's just waiting for a right call. Maryville are trying to find access into this objective, and their answer is going to be Chippy's here.
Saskia has to be very careful. Dox is positioning very far back because he wants to ult into the fight, but there's no tanks on Saskia. So if Chippies can get onto him, he might not be able to kill Saskia, but that means that Jinx isn't outputting any damage in the fight, right? And I think that's the big win for Maryville if they can find that, because he's still not spotted. They do have that one control ward, though, so they will see if he walks up. And they know he's not bot lane. So Winthrop are like, okay, there's something going on here.
Get your investigative caps. They just don't want to fully commit to the dragon, because even if they get soul, they just lose, or soul point. You don't want to just lose the fight. Here he comes.
Okay, oh, but he's stopping on the ward. He sees Saskia, though. Now he goes in. He grabs Saskia. He grabs the AD carry. Saskia's in a lot of trouble. He's out of the fight. Spyrex got him. The dragon is secured here, but can Winthrop win the rest of it? Doxa, along with Frostforce, do take down Spyrex. Can they get Evan RL? They do. That's a shutdown to Doxa. Chippy's chasing out Sir Kenji. Will take him down. It's Doxa. Frostforce untouched. I think that Winthrop can actually turn this fight. They will win this one, but a huge double kill to Chippies. Maybe MU can still win this. Chippy's very low, will fall to hybrids, but he makes it an even trade.
Look at how close these fights are. Like we said, Sasuke getting burned down by set flank, Akali ultimate, everything rained down upon him. But Frost Forest is still dishing out damage, and they're going to be able to get not only Soul Point, but the mid lane turret as well. That is still a W for Winthrop University.
That was the problem with that positioning. Even if they see Chippy's coming, Sasuke can't position correctly.
There he is. I mean, didn't have the flash for it afterwards, of course, having to burn it there. And Spyrax, of course, dying on the back half after fully engaging, does show the audience members, show the enemy team that Karthus is still a beast in this fight. And so this is just a big win for Winthrop. Even with how strong Chippy's is right now and how good of an engager it is, you know, you have to fight against Soul now in the next team fight.
I don't believe that was Soul picked up, actually. I think that was just Soul Point. Yeah, that's a third dragon
that's what I mean.
for Winthrop.
That's what I mean. Next fight was going to be Soul, so
yeah,
Maryville has to be able to fight against that, and it's going to be difficult. It's still a neck-and-neck game. It's a really close one.
And the crazy thing is, they got onto Sasuke, but like you said, Frost Forest, this Karthus, he still earns 2. I mean, he's got even more gold than Sasuke right now with 2 items completed, 10 stacks on Darkseal. Will he get the Mejais? I think you go for it at this point, but at the same time, you are Karthus, so kind of your job to die occasionally. So maybe he won't
just
really
off principle, I'd do it.
It's like, I honestly, they kind of drafted a whole comp for that, right? Like, if you're Scion, you die, you're like, I just got it for the team, right? If you're Karthus, you die, you're like, I played for the fight. They have so many extra lives here, especially when you factor in now the Zonias that are coming into the comps. But also on the side of Maryville, they got Zonias on both Odd Orange and Spyrax, so they're ready to fight too.
Something you just noticed, of course, is that, you know, Kaisa using her W just to be able to see if they're on Baron. The Baron is this composition from Winthrop just obliterates the objective.
Yeah.
So it's very realistic for Maryville to be aware of that. I mean, afraid of that. And so fighting for vision here, getting anything you can, not giving Winthrop an opportunity.
Well, they have the vision control right now, but I don't think that Maryville's really in a position to threaten it, right? They don't have the comp that will burn it down as fast. And they also then have to deal with a Scion ulting in, Nocturne ulting in, a lot of AoE abilities that Winthrop can throw at them. So they are not going to commit to this. They just want to make sure that they have the vision priority around the area and are controlling these waves. But I like what Hybrids did here. He's slow pushing the bot side and now just walking to group up with his team. Even though he has TP to join in if a fight breaks out, he's just walking to help them out here. Sasuke almost completed the back, but not doing it.
They're doing it right now. They finally get to see this, so a team fight's gonna break out.
Leon ultimate, Scion ultimate, that's gonna be a big knockup, but okay, there goes Golden, the jungler. Dox onto the backline. Sasuke dealing with Spyrax right now, has to position correctly. Dox is buying so much time, 1v3, but he will fall down. Sasuke's out of the fight again! It's Evan Orel that takes him down this time, but yet again, Frost Force on the Karthus is the real damage threat here. He's doing so much on this jungle pick. Evan Orel's trying to take down Sir Kenji. Frost Force barely still alive, barely in this one. He still has his passive. Even if he dies, he's fine, but he's not going to. Evan Orel, oh, he does get knocked up here. Frost Force might look for this. There's the flows. They're trying to chase him down. Evan Orel's in trouble. He will fall. Shut down to Sir Kenji. And Winthrop University win the fight.
A crucial mistake there. And now with Evan RL down, 35-second death timer. They're not going to go for it now, but that is Soul coming up in 40 seconds.
Wow.
It seems like he's going to be there on time to at least look to contest, but that's going to be a huge advantage for Winthrop in positioning.
That's third item completed for Frost Forest. I was checking to see if he goes for the Mejais. He didn't. He does not want to commit to that one, but he does get that Void Staff completed. So...
There.
Oh, they are ready to fight right now. Winthrop University's composition is so difficult for Maryville to deal with. They've successfully killed Sasuke the last 2 fights, but they have to deal with Frost Force. They have to deal with Doxa. It's hard for them to focus on multiple fronts.
Yeah, and look, Flash is up for Sasuke, so if this dive ever happens again, he will have the ability to respond.
Dragon Soul.
Maryville has to find this fight.
Sir Kenji's the one engaged on. Spyrax tries to jump in, but he's getting CC live, CC chain. He's on to Sasuke. He takes him out yet again. Spyrax, every single fight is doing his job. But who's dealing with Frost Force? Chippy's trying to jump on him. Can they chain CC? The jungler Karthus still putting damage. Evan Earl pretty much untouched in this fight. He's raining lots of damage as the Kaisa, but Chippies is down. They don't have a front line. Evan Earl's got to be careful. He's running away now. Avoids the CC from Sir Kenji. They're kiting back successfully, but man, Karthus Skittles hurt. Almost half health in Odd Orange with a single one.
No way.
Coming down. That's going to kill Shady. Odd Orange goes golden to stay alive, but Evan Earl's burning. They don't want to give over the Dragon Soul, but I don't think that they have a choice. Winthrop University, they're going to get this. Unless there's a miracle steal. Oh, that's a teleport. Evan Earl is so screwed. Odd Orange is here too. Doxa doesn't have ultimate, but they're going to chase them down. That's Dragon Soul. This is two members of MU that have no escape options. Oh, Winthrop University. They're getting everything right now. This is their series point. They're up 2-1. They're in a fantastic position to close this one out.
Yeah, the Eagles are soaring sky high after that one. They just needed that one fight. A lot happened there, but cast your mind back to the very beginning. Saskio assassinated. Had flashed up, but it was Spyrax that found the target. But Frost Forest was able to just clean up with the crew. Doxa was a huge asset as well. Had TP to come back into the play. That's Soul. That's Baron. And that's Winthrop at match point looking to put the dagger in Maryville.
He got the Meshai's Raz. Frost Forest is feeling it now. 8-2-8 on the Karthus. Absolute breakout performance here from the jungler. Wow, I don't think many people expected this to be the series. This to be Maryville versus Winthrop. This to be Winthrop finding Chippies alone in a side lane yet again. In a crucial moment in the game. It's taken 5 members, but they do take down the top laner of Maryville.
Remember, 30 minutes into the game, that's a 45-second death timer. They're going to be able to get a lot out of that one. But just take a look at this fight. Spyrax actually just straight balls in this fight. Look at it, look at it. He finds the angle in his E to assassinate Saskios. But when he goes stopwatch, he's alone. He's an instant kill right afterwards. Meanwhile, Karthus is still able to dish out DPS. Chippies is taking 3 damage because there's no follow-up immediately afterwards. Evan RL is just not enough damage to kind of make up for the loss of a colleague. And then I love Frostboy is like, all right, you know what? Take a step back, guys. I'm going to channel my ultimate. Odd Orange is able to survive as Zonia's, but down goes Shady. Such a great team fight from Winthrop overall.
And the TP from Doxa to make sure they had no escape routes. Winthrop University, this is it. Can they close it out right now with Baron, with Dragon Soul, with a gold lead? They've wrestled it back from Maryville University, who had a very strong early showing here in this game number 4, but maybe not enough. They're not out yet, though. They got the red carpet rumble. They got the Nautilus CC. They have assassinated Saskio at the beginning of every fight. They got to do just a little bit more, though. They're not out yet, but it's looking dire. And we do see a reset from Winthrop, so they're not going to end right here.
You know what the sad news is for all, Maryville compatriots, is that Saskio didn't even use his flash in that round. Yeah, sure, a mistake was made, but now he still has the defensive tool, so Spyrax is not even gonna, 100-0 him in the next fight if it plays out well. So it's tough. You also have Ocean Soul, so Kaisa is not gonna be having a good time. DPS is gonna be very limited. There's a lot of sustain here from Winthrop, so yeah.
You gotta get past hybrids. You gotta get past the Scion. We've seen Maryville, that last fight at least, they were trying to focus on the Scion, but like you said, they just don't have the DPS for it. I feel like it's got to be Evan RL and Spyrax getting on top of Saskio, taking him out right away together, and then taking out Frost Forest. You need to kill this Karthus because he's staying alive for way too long. I get it, he dies, he still does damage, but if he's alive, he does more. So eventually you do have to kill him.
Yeah, I know we talked about the scaling factor of Jinx and Karthus already. The Soul isn't going to help, and on top of that, that means that it's a bit of a snowball because now you have to itemize against it. A lot of the gold that you're already kind of fighting for have to turn into an Executioner's. So triple Grievous Wounds coming through from Odd Orange, Spyrax, and Evan RL, because if they get in a fight, it's necessary. But you're already in the hole and you need damage. It's just going to be a tough one. I think they need to find a pick.
Kings are backed into the corner. Maryville They were looking to make it 3. They were looking to be the most dominant collegiate program of all time. Maybe they can find the engage here, but no, it's actually just going to be a pick as the Odd Orange has no backup from the rest of his team. TP committed, Doxa ult committed. That's an easy pick for Winthrop.
Yeah, not the team that I was thinking would get the pick or want to get the pick on that one. Now Winthrop should easily get this inhibitor. 30-second death timer on here on Odd Orange. You can't make one more mistake. If one more member dies, they can. They very well can. I don't think they should. But if one person dies, that should be game.
Chippies was topside. I thought maybe they at least try and force him to TP back or just back off of that wave. But you're right. They just take the inhibitor, breaking open that base. Elder Dragon spawning in under a minute. So if they can back, spend a little bit more gold, catch control of that top wave, this should be an objective. It's going to be Maryville. It'll come down to this dragon fight, right? Like, I'm willing to call it right now. If Maryville don't get this Elder Dragon, that should be game over for Winthrop. They should have such a massive lead with their scaling advantage. So how do Maryville make sure that that does not happen?
Here's the thing. Winthrop do not want to coin flip it. It is suicidal to want to coin flip on an Elder Dragon and giving Maryville their only opportunity back into the game. So use it as a team fight tool. Maryville wants to run towards it and wants to force this 50-50. Just straight focus on the team fight. That's what I want to see out of Winthrop.
Multiple members of Winthrop grouping around. They don't have the inside track of the vision, but they do have some deep flanking wards. No TPs to use those flanks. Look at the minions pushing bot side. This is Maryville just admitting, yeah, we're not going to catch that bot wave. We have to be here at Dragon. Are they gonna, there's no way they started up, right? They can't commit to
this.
They
have to. I think Maryville has to.
Chippy's getting 1v1 by Doxa. All right, Maryville are starting the Dragon up. Hybrids, where does he look for the engage right here? Sir Kenji's walking forward. Saskio doesn't really have any threats on him right now because Chippies is being dealt with by Doxa. This is beautiful positioning from Winthrop.
Yeah, he's marking Chippies in a really good manner. And the longer this goes, the better it is for Winthrop. He's just straight soloing him.
He might just take down Chippies on his own. The Rec Room's coming in. I think Chippies is going to die from this red carpet out of nobody. Saskio's untouched. They cannot get on the Jinx. The fight's just going to be over. Winthrop University are shredding through Maryville. Saskio still has the flash. Spyrex cannot take him down this time around. At least the shutdown. They got Frost Forest. He got the Mesh Eyes, and he does die for it, but Winthrop University will win the fight. It's just Spyrex left up. There's no way he cannot defend. Winthrop University did it. They found their play. They're going to march this wave, and Spyrex will have to make the hero play to end all hero plays. He's in the smoke, but he's not going to find it. He doesn't have ult. He doesn't have summoner spells. The Nexus turrets are falling. Maryville held the crown, but the Eagles bow to no kings. Winthrop University are your League of Legends 2021 Collegiate Champions.
Against all odds, and only those from Winthrop Eagle fans believing in them, these are your champion, King Hybrids, Frost Forest, Doxa, Saskio, and Sir Kenji.
Wow.
These players did it for him.
What a roster of gamers to take the championship to the kings of collegiate. Maryville were doing their best to stay in that one, but Winthrop are the new reigning champs. All hail the new kings of collegiate from the Southern Conference, dominating their region. The highest scoring collegiate team in the Proving Ground circuit. I'll say it again. They're competing with the top of amateur, and now they have solidified themselves as the best collegiate team in 2021. What a season.
It's crazy. A lot of players that you got to be able to put on that pedestal. I know everybody's going to be coming out and spamming Doxa diff, but I'm looking at Frost Forest, Hybrids, Saskio in these team fights. It was tough, but he managed. This game, that Karthus was humongous. Frost Forest getting MVP of the previous series. I wonder who gets MVP of this one, but it was a full team effort that won them this series versus Maryville.
Every single player on Winthrop had a pop-off performance. We saw the Doxa carry. We saw the Hybrids carry. We saw the Frost Force Saskio carry. We saw Sir Kenji doing his classic thing, roaming around the map, impacting everything. This was Winthrop at their peak, and they are our new collegiate champions. The story of this team was so fun to follow throughout the whole season. it's usually the North that's considered the best region, right? Like, oh, their conference is insane. It's Maryville, and then maybe they're going to compete against another Northern Conference team in the finals, right? But
Yeah.
we see this Southern Conference team coming in here from Winthrop and just decimating through their conference, decimating through collegiate, and showing that, nope, they are the Kings. And
It's a good story.
I know a lot of people behind the scenes. They work so hard. The players work so hard, and to see them get this means so much to them.
That's why I want to see those players and how they feel after a win like this. Because if I remember, if I'm not mistaken, like Saskio, like I think this was his last shot in terms of like going through CLOL. It's things like these, stories like these where you want to put it all on the line because you don't know what's going to happen in the next semester. You don't know what's going to happen in the next year. And Saskio being with the team for a while, with the university for some time, you want to be able to go the full distance. And they did that and then some, winning that championship. These are the memories that you hold on to for the rest of your life.
2017, Saskio wins with Maryville in the top lane. 2019, he roll swaps to AD carry so they can have Niles in the top lane. Still wins the championship. Now on a different team, still roll swap to AD carry. Saskio, this is his third championship title. Doxa, TSM Amateur Doxa, just won collegiate. This is absolutely insane. Winthrop Eagles have risen to the challenge and are the new kings of Collegiate League of Legends. It's a new day in league history, everybody. The old kings are dead, and Winthrop reigns supreme. After the break, Saskio, the three-peat champion, will be on the State Farm Analyst Desk. You will not want to miss it, so don't touch that browser. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the 2021 College League of Legends Championship. We officially have our new champions. Winthrop Eagles taking down the reigning champions in Maryville University. And hey, if there is any player that is familiar with both of these teams, it is the one that we have joining us on the desk currently. We've got Saskia coming to us straight from the bot lane. First things first, Saskia, what an amazing series we just witnessed. You took a lot of people off guard. Can you just tell me a bit about your team's reaction to being the new champions of CELO?
Yeah, so everybody right now, we're all pretty ecstatic. After we won, Hermit, our coach, and Bo, our manager, came running in, and we all started jumping up and down, hugging each other. You can hear the people who aren't here through Discord. They're all screaming from their computers, and it was just a good time after we won.
Yeah, I love being able to hear that other, kind of background noise, that support that you have, not just on your location, but we have heard so much about the support in the chat from a lot of the fans out there. Can you tell us a bit more about how that feels, kind of whether it is the actual system and the team that you're working with, those coaches, but also the fans out there that have been along for the ride?
Yeah, I would say the fans do play a big role in us trying much harder, because when we see in chat, you see Doxadiff, you see that Pepe guy like dancing back and forth, you see Throppers out, something along those lines. Those are all really funny memes, and it really gives us the motivation we need to push through each game that we play.
And for you, pushing through to this very moment, it is a very unique journey. You came into this championship series already being a champion yourself, having won the title twice under the Maryville banner. Now you find yourself in your final semester here at WU, your opportunity to grab another one. How does it feel to be the first to have acclimated 3 different titles within your college career?
I'll be honest, it hasn't really hit me yet that I just won, but it definitely feels really good being in collegiate for the past 6 years and coming out on top and having something to show for it, winning 3 collegiate championships. So overall, I'm just really happy that I graduated, I won collegiate, I put all the hard work in with me and my team, and we came out on top at the end of the day.
Graduating in itself is always something very worthy of celebration. So I think grabbing a championship title on your way out as well, it's just infinite excitement, I'm sure, for you and your loved ones out there. We are also going to have you continue staying with us on the desk as we go through some moments from this game. It was an exciting one because we weren't exactly sure how it was going to shake out, but TJ, WU definitely came through strong in some of those team fights early.
Right, everybody played their part. They all had a really good role to play. Saskia, here in this play, the game wasn't really decided at this point. You were still a little bit farther behind. What were you guys feeling at this moment? How were the comms? What was the mentality like?
We were very calm. All we had to do was just control the dragon area, wait for them to walk in, as every CLL team has been doing to us. And once they finally walked in, we can look for the engage and we'll simply win because they're the ones entering into our vision.
That's a great point.
Having that
With
information
that,
ahead. Go ahead.
So that's a great point. You guys drafted your comp. You guys took the exhaust on the Karthus. You guys played very well around that idea. What did you feel a lot of personal stress as a result of being on a Jinx and a mobile carry against the likes of Set, Akali, etc.?
Yeah, so our team, we were always constantly stressing about where's Akali, where's Set? He hasn't been on the map for like forever. So we're constantly looking around for him, making sure I don't get flanked. And they did end up getting a couple of flanks on us, but ultimately the rest of my team were able to hunker down and carry me, even though I died at the start of the fight.
And so along with this, there was another fight kind of around the 3rd Drake that you guys are playing for. And in a lot of these fights, you were doing these kind of trade kills, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it benefits you guys, right? So you can have these scrappy fights all the time. And even if you're the one dying to the Akali, which I'm sure you're having a really fun game this game, you're always on the lookout for the Set flank on the Akali flank. These kind of trade kills do work in favor of your comp, right?
Yeah, ultimately, if they're the ones blowing everything to come in and kill me, my teammates will normally clean everything up after because we have a lot of constant damage coming from Karthus, the Nocturne, and Leona. So even if they do go on me, the enemy team should end up dying because they're the ones going into us, and Karthus really excels when they enter into him.
There were a lot of those fights, kind of especially as the game was going on, where we saw the Karthus ultimate having such an impact. But I think even with that considered, there were some very close calls where we didn't know how things were going to shake out. I do want to draw your attention specifically to the fight that went into Ocean Soul, because on our end, this felt like it was going to determine who was going to win the game. Did you feel that alongside the rest of your team?
In this fight, I didn't feel too much pressure, obviously, until I died, but once we saw that Akali was dead and we had a nice clean front to back, ultimately it did end up going in our favor. So we just played out the fight, and my team just carried this fight, and we ended up getting Ocean Soul, I believe.
Yeah, and I want to shout out Hybrid's positioning here at the start of that fight. I think he did a really great job of sitting in that choke along with the Karthus W, just stopped 4 members single-handedly. 4 members of MU just stood there and sat waiting for the Karthus wall or the Scion to back off along with the Jinx traps while Akali went in for you. I think the positioning of all of you was really good in that fight, and unfortunately, you just happened to be the AD carry player against the Akali.
Yep, buff ADC.
So, continuing along that route, it's very easy to praise the Karthus for the big ult or the Jinx for the very good positioning. I'm wondering, is there anything they'd like to say to Hybrids in terms of saying like, oh yeah, like, thanks bro for being the big tank in front of me and letting me play the game, like really good job? Or do you think it was all you?
I feel like, so I want to say this about myself. I feel like I'm a player past their expiration point in playing competitive League of Legends. I just want to give a huge shout out to each and every single one of my teammates. We have Hybrids. He has improved immensely over the past semester. He's become a beast top laner, and I'm pretty sure he's going to go very far. Frost Force, he's like the glue that holds the whole team together, and he's the one that takes a lot of flame. As you guys can see him, he's right there doing his little dances. I think Doxa, I'm going to say this about Doxa. I think he is the best mechanical player in North America, period. No questions asked. And I think Sir Kenji is a very good support who plays really good engages, and he has a keen eye for when people are overstepping, and he takes advantage of it really well. So I want to give a huge shout out to my team. They've all done an amazing job over the semester.
Speaking of your teammates, and there's one in particular that you just mentioned dancing around in the background, we're going to grant him another opportunity to keep dancing, because when it comes to player of the series, Frost Forest for the second series in a row has been named that. I can already hear the excitement. I'm sure the message
He's dancing.
has been
He's dancing. Calm down,
relayed. The complete raw energy that we get in that moment is just so great. And you were just talking about how much he is the glue to this team. Is it coming from a perspective of leadership and making the calls, or is it kind of those intangibles with the, keeping everyone's spirits high between games?
Well, as the jungler, you're the one that usually takes all the flames. So he does that, first of all. But second of all, he just has a lot of synergy with Sir Kenji, and they both take the reins of shot calling and make sure that our team can all get on the same page and make sure we're working towards one goal as a team.
And the goal that you accomplished today, obviously achieving the championship title, there's a bit more weight to it. We already mentioned the fact that you and Hybrids have served on Maryville before, but I think even on a higher level, you're familiar with the fact that Maryville is a very developed, team that they have over there, the support system. I think there's a lot of shared respect between the two teams here, but how does that impact the way that you and the rest of Winthrop feel about this victory, considering you were facing against a reigning championship organization here?
Well, when I came here to Winthrop, we definitely didn't have the infrastructure and environment to match up to Maryville. But once we brought in the players and we brought in coaching staff, I want to give a huge shout out to our shadow coach, Hermit, who used to work with Origin and United. Especially when he came in, he definitely brought like a presence that made everyone just listen to him, and he had really good strategy and drafting and really helped propel us to come out on top on a lot of these games through the end of Proving Grounds and even all of CLOL. So that's a huge shout out to Hermit.
Thank you. I appreciate you shouting out your team. So Saskia, I have a question for you personally. You played CLOL, you've graduated now with your master's degree. What's next for you personally? You said you were beyond your expiration date. What does it look like for you?
Yep. Okay, so there's a couple options for sure. Obviously working, but all that does sound kind of a little boring, I want to be honest. a lot of people are going to be surprised about this, but I'm interested in going down the path of full-time streaming. So now I've made my parents happy. I've completed my education. I want to do something for myself, and I have a lot of interest in content creation and streaming. So I'm looking to full-time stream and potentially just start coaching a lot and start posting some ideas on YouTube that I haven't seen other league people post. So definitely look out for that.
So are you going to be more focused on that kind of wacky stuff you've done before, like the infamous Yumi with your feet combo, or are you going to be more focused on kind of gameplay, high-level strategy kind of content?
I'll definitely be focused on all over the place. So I'll be going into gameplay. I will do that Yumi Draven thing again, playing 2 accounts at once, but mostly just branching out and doing stuff that other people haven't done yet. So that's what I'm looking forward to do.
College degrees under his belt, aspirations for content, a true jack of all trades that we have here in Saskia. I'm so happy to be able to hear from you after this series. I know you've already shouted out your teammates and such, but I do want to give you the last opportunity to give that shout out to anyone that you feel in this moment of joy.
Yeah. So I already shouted out all my team and coach. I want to give a big shout out to Bo, who's our manager. He's done a lot for me ever since I got here. Shout out to Emily, who's our manager, planning all our scrims. Shout out to Gin Senghai, also known as Matt, for just being a hype man and joking around with us. And I want to give a shout out to Maryville University. They put in a lot of work and they've done a really good job, and their program will definitely continue to go far. So shout out to them too. Oh, and Clerky, him too.
There you go. Both Winthrop and Maryville, I think we can all agree, have a lot to be proud of after today, making it to this point. And Saskia, I want to thank you again for stopping by to join us on this desk after this victory, and congratulations on the biggest of W's.
Thank you very much.
For everybody that is watching, that is the end of our CLOL journey, but you can always catch more League of Legends with the continuation of Proving Ground starting tomorrow back up. And we have LCS Summer kicking off on Friday, June 4th. You don't want to miss any of that, but that is going to do it for us here at the 2021 College League of Legends Championship. Congratulations again to both Maryville University for making it this far and Winthrop University Eagles for crowning themselves the next king of the college scene. On behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, my friends, good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.